Welcome back to the deep dive. You know the drill. You send us your sources, and we dig in to pull out the really crucial stuff, hopefully leaving you a bit better informed, maybe even a little surprised. Today, we're diving into bees. And yeah, when you hear bees, you probably think honey, right? Golden, sticky, nice. But what if that's just like the tip of the iceberg? What if there's this huge story underneath? One that links directly to, well, what you ate for dinner last night.
It really does. And that's why this topic is so important, I think. Our sources really hammer home how fundamental these little guys are. It goes way beyond just a spoonful of honey in your tea. This dive, it's really about uncovering the, let's say, the hidden work they do, work that basically props up our whole food system. Honestly, you might be pretty astounded by how much of your plate depends on them just quietly doing their thing.
Okay, so this deeper story.
Uh-huh.
What's the main role that our research kept pointing to? What are they actually doing that we might just, take for granted?
Well, the absolute core function that shines through in all the material is pollination, crop pollination. And it's not just like a helpful bonus they provide, it's the mechanism. It's how countless plants actually reproduce and give us food. The sources are really clear on this. One stated that bees are responsible for pollinating over 1/3 of the world's food crops.
1/3. Wow.
Yeah, just think about that. Apples, almonds, coffee, cucumbers, I mean, the list goes on. They all rely pretty heavily on bees moving pollen around. That's what lets the plant actually make the fruit or the seed, take them away, and yields would plummet. Or some crops might just disappear altogether.
That's a massive dependency. So it's not just, oh, no, fewer apples. It's potentially a fundamental break in the chain, right? And this is where it gets kind of scary because our sources also stress that these essential workers are actually in deep trouble. What are the big threats they're up against?
Right, and this is where it really starts to hit home, The research points to this nasty mix of problems all hitting at once. Pesticides are a huge one, especially those systemic ones like neonicotinoids. They mess with the bees' ability to find their way back home, their navigation.
Like they get lost.
Yeah, basically, and it weakens their immune systems too. So that's one major hit. Then there's habitat loss. Huge fields of just one crop, cities expanding. It means fewer places for them to live and find different kinds of food. And on top of that, you've got climate change. It throws off the timing.
The timing, how so?
Well, the timing between when the flowers they need actually bloom and when the bees themselves emerge after winter. If they're out of sync, the bees miss their food source or the plants miss their pollinators. It's a critical mismatch. So yeah, the decline in bee populations isn't just some abstract ecological worry. It's a direct threat, an escalating one to global food security. Their health and our health, they're tied together really tightly.
Okay, so let's follow that thread. If these threads keep going, what does that future actually look like for us, for people buying groceries?
Yeah.
What does the decline mean, practically?
Practically. Well, if you connect the dots based on the sources, it means a pretty dramatic change in what we eat. Picture your local supermarket. The fruit and veg aisles. Way less variety. Fewer nuts, maybe even less dairy, because a lot of cattle feed relies on insect-pollinated crops like alfalfa. And the stuff that is available, the prices would almost certainly shoot up because it'd be so much scarcer.
Wow.
Yeah. It's not just about having fewer choices. It could become a real crisis, affecting food access, nutrition for millions, potentially billions of people. The material makes it really clear this isn't some far-off maybe problem. It's happening right now.
So wrapping up this deep dive, it really loops back to that surprise we mentioned at the start, doesn't it? Our sources couldn't be clearer. Looking out for bees isn't just, a nice thing to do for the environment or because they're kind of cute. It's actually incredibly practical. It's self-preservation. These tiny little farmers are basically guarding our food supply every single day.
Absolutely. And that leaves you with something pretty important to think about, right? If these small creatures really highlight how interconnected everything is, especially our food, what's your part in keeping that balance? The sources mention simple things anyone can do. Maybe planting some bee-friendly flowers if you have space, or choosing organic stuff sometimes to lessen the pesticide load, or even just taking a second to appreciate the incredible work these insects are doing. Just reflect on how those small actions ripple outwards, connecting you to this huge, complex web of life that feeds us all, and maybe ponder, what would a quieter world actually mean for what ends up on our plates?